By early spring, most of the hedgehogs that have been spending winter in hibernation should be active and will now be roaming around our gardens, allotments and the neighborhoods we live in. So then how can we attract those hedgehogs into our gardens and increase the area that they can roam every night? Well, in this video, I'm going to look at some of the tips that are set forth by Hedgehog Street and specifically designed to attract hedgehogs into your garden. Hello, welcome to Hedgehog's Hollow. My name is Mike and Hedgehog's Hollow is the channel for people who are passionate about wild hedgehogs, for people who want to attract them into their gardens and allotments, and once they are there, for people who want to support them in those areas. So if that sounds like you and you've not yet done so, why don't you consider subscribing to the channel? Hit the subscribe button below this video and also remember to hit the notification bell icon, and that will send you a notification every time a new video is uploaded to this channel. Hedgehog Street is a campaign that is jointly run by the British Hedgehog Preservation Society and the People's Trust for Endangered Species, and this year they are celebrating their 10th anniversary. So I wanted to use one of their very many useful leaflets and look at the ideas for attracting hedgehogs into your garden. All the links that you may want are in the video description below, so everything you'll need is available to you. Just look in the video description. But for now, let's jump straight in. So despite being such small animals, hedgehogs need a very large area to roam, and each individual is likely to roam somewhere between 2 and 4 kilometers every night. So the first and most obvious thing that you should do with your garden is to provide those hedgehogs an access point. Now this can be as simple as just a gap under a gate or just a space in the perimeter fence, but if one doesn't exist, then you might want to actually put in what is known as a hedgehog hole, and this is a specific hole the size of a CD jewel case that allows hedgehogs access to your garden and increases that area that they can roam. But one garden is never going to be enough. So having provided access to hedgehogs to your garden, why not consider discussing with your neighbors putting in hedgehog holes into shared perimeter fences? And that allows you to create a corridor of safe passage between your gardens, what is known as a hedgehog highway. Now you can do this just by providing those hedgehog holes, which again is a CD jewel case sized hole of around 15 centimeters or perhaps 5 inches. And you put it into the perimeter fence, and that allows access to hedgehogs to both of those gardens. And by linking up gardens in this way, we create these corridors of safe passage. Now if you've not yet done so, I have a video all about hedgehog holes, and I'll provide that in the video description below. And then once you've provided access to your visiting hedgehogs, a friendly hedgehog host should put on a great banquet. Well, actually that's not quite true. What you should be doing is providing supplemental food, things like kitten biscuits or hedgehog biscuits specifically for your hedgehogs to snack on. But the natural food sources should also be abundantly available in your garden, and to get those you need things like leaf piles or log piles, areas where bugs and beasties and invertebrates will gather within your garden. Generally things like untidy areas or slightly more overgrown areas will provide these spaces, and hedgehogs will be attracted there by virtue of the abundance of naturally occurring food that will be available in these areas. But please never leave out things like mealworms, calciworms, peanuts, fruit, sunflower seeds. These things can do immense damage to hedgehogs and can be extremely detrimental to their health. They should be avoided at all costs, and some of them can, like mealworms, can be really detrimental to their health and cause diseases that are really bad and can lead to death. So please avoid these types of things. Rather put out supplemental foods like the kitten biscuits or the hedgehog biscuits, and focus on providing natural food sources through those wild areas of your garden. Sometimes even more important than food actually is a source of fresh, clean water. Hedgehogs can be immensely dehydrated very quickly, and so providing fresh water is really important, and possibly even more important than providing the supplemental food sources. Provide fresh, clean water that you top up and clean out every day, and the hedgehogs will really thank you for that. If you want any information around about food and water to give to hedgehogs, then do check the video description. Again, another video is available down there with lots of information exactly what to do and what to avoid providing for hedgehogs. But since we are talking about water, one of the other areas in your garden that you may need to look out for is any wildlife ponds that you may have, and ensuring that you provide a beach or an escape ramp for hedgehogs and other mammals that may fall into that water to escape the pond. Hedgehogs will be attracted to the water as a source of drinking water. And despite the fact that they are really good swimmers, without the kind of escape route or escape ramp available to them, they can get into difficulty and distress really quickly. So please make sure that if you do have a wildlife pond, that you provide some kind of beach or ramp for them to get out of, so that they can escape should they fall in. And while we're talking about the welfare of our hedgehog visitors, make sure to take a walk around your garden or allotment area to look out for any potential hazards that might present risks to your hedgehogs and their welfare. Things like open drains without any covers, or open pipes or other gaps and openings that they could become stuck in or fall into. Try to remove these, or at least cover them up. Also make sure that you lift any netting that might be present in your garden or within the allotment. Lift it to a height of at least 20 centimeters or perhaps around 8 inches off the ground, so that hedgehogs can easily get under that without becoming entangled in it. Spines are terrible things to get entangled in nets, and hedgehogs do find it really difficult to escape once they are entangled in things like netting. So lifting netting is really important. And finally, just check your garden for any litter that may have swept in on the wind while you weren't looking. Hedgehogs are becoming more and more prone to injuries from litter, which is terribly sad. So something that you can do is to get through your garden and just look for any litter and remove it as fast as possible. If you want more information, again, I have a video all about hedgehog hazards and removing them, and you can find a link to that in the video description. The last thing you want to do is try to remove any chemicals or the use of chemicals in your garden or allotment. Now, as gardeners, we are precious about keeping our flowers and the young tender plants in our garden or allotment free from bugs and beasts and the predators like slugs and snails. But introducing toxins and poisons into your garden's food chain not only impacts the slugs that you're trying to remove, but actually will impact the entire food chain. And unwittingly, you could be poisoning hedgehogs and other mammals or birds that are present in your garden. So rather than look at a chemical solution, why not look at something that's more natural? Try to introduce a natural predator to those bugs and beasties that are in your garden. And a good option here is actually a wildlife pond, because that will introduce the type of things that will predate on the beasts and invertebrates that you're trying to remove. By applying these tips and adopting these practices within your garden or allotment, you'll be encouraging the hedgehogs to come and visit and spend time in those areas. But why not let's encourage them to stay a little longer, and we can tempt them with some luxury, comfortable accommodation in the form of a hedgehog house. Now, of course, you can choose to buy a hedgehog house, and if you do go down that path, I would always encourage you to try to support your local hedgehog rescue hospital or organization. That not only gets you a great house that's been carefully constructed and is great for your hedgehog visitors, but it also supports those organizations in their fundraising needs, which is terribly important in these difficult times. Or you may choose to build your own, which is extremely satisfying and rewarding when a hedgehog does move into a house that you've built yourself. Now, if you want more information about how to go about building a house, including a design and a cutting guide and something that you can download for yourself with all the measurements, then do be sure to check the video description. I've got a great video there on exactly how to build a hedgehog house, and it takes you step by step through the process. By providing a welcome and friendly space for for hedgehogs to roam, you'll be supporting our favourite mammal and also helping to stem the decline in their numbers. Until next Thursday, happy gardening and happy hedgehog watching. From myself, Mike, you take care. Bye bye.